さんこんにちは。
Hello, everyone. I'm Yoshinaga from Subaru. Today, thank you for the invitation. I will spend the next 40 minutes to talk about our initiative and activities in Subaru. There are many participants here today, I believe. Therefore, if you have any useful information that I can give you today, that would be a great pleasure for me. The title of my presentation is Live with Utilizing Your Personality or Unique Characters. As I has been earlier introduced, I was introduced that we are doing very well these days. For the last several years, how we had to live. We've been thinking about how we can live or how we can fight. And we really thought about that. So therefore, I hope I can mention on those points. Next, please. Next page, please. There are 4 pages. So the points I would like to mention first is introduction and who we are next. And then the third is Subaru's strategy. And fourthly, what are we targeting to achieve in the future? The first part, when we talk about when I talk about the strategy, now I will talk about strategy later, but the initial part, the introduction to that, may be boring, so I just want to make it short. So I'm going to start with something rather boring for you, perhaps. So I really don't like to show the bar graph like this. However, if you hear the word Subaru, you may not get a great idea of what we are doing. Therefore, I will show you this. The bar graph is a sales amount. This is in trillion. So the right-hand side, which is in 2016, which is the last year, that's 3.3 trillion yen. This is what I'd like to tell you from this chart. In 2008, and then also less than 10 years ago, which is 8 years ago probably, it was about 1.4 trillion yen level of scale company. So now we are doubled. And this is a polygraph. This is a margin. Years ago, we really struggled to produce some few millions of yen. So we are around this area. We put down this negative 58. This is not a typo. That means we are in deficit. So that's what it means. A couple of years ago, because of the depreciation of the yen, we had a great amount, which is a 56 million yen. And then, so margin is 17.5%. In a manufacturing company in Japan, this is quite high figure. Last year, this, and exchange rate is 108, so which is rather reasonable. And last year was 41 million yen. So I want to show you one more graph. We are mostly automotive companies, although we do other businesses. In the overall, it's usually around 600,000 before units. But in 2017, we exceeded 1 million units. So, like I said in the beginning, we are doing quite well. So that's it for figures. Now we want to talk about our history, what kind of company we have been. Briefly, I want to mention that about 100 years ago, Nakajima airplane was the company which was founded. That was our very initial stage of our company. That was in defense industry. We are producing aircraft. We are still producing aircraft. Of course, after the war, next page. This intention is not to give you the details. You're just gonna listen to the just overall history. We produced rabbit scooters and other vehicles. And after the war, when the company got disassembled, and 6 companies, Fuji Heavy, so created, we established the Fuji Heavy Industries in 1953. And then this year, we changed the name to Subaru. When we look back, characteristics of our company, what is it? What is Subaru? What is the background when we got here? I have the 3 keywords. This company still has been the aircraft company. In terms of technology, this is the aircraft company. And secondly, it is a very technology-oriented company. We have great engineers. I'm not an engineer, so it's not me, but the engineers are very great. And also high-cost culture. This is quite important, and that could be our disadvantage. Because we are and has been an aircraft company, we want to produce something good. And to produce aircraft, it costs you high. So cost is high. Therefore, it's difficult. What I feel is to compete in an area where the cost becomes an important factor in winning the competition. So, as we humans all are, there are good points and drawbacks. So we had to think about our strategy, thinking about those advantages and drawbacks. So that's it for the history. We are now Subaru, and we are producing aircraft and then automobiles, and we still produce engines. So the industrial product company, but we will do away with that this year. So we will be only in automotives and aerospace businesses. When we were Fuji Heavy Industry, after the war, we are in many other business sections, but we narrowed them down, and now we focus ourselves in automotive and aerospace. You may know, for us to cars, Revolve, Legacy, Outback, Forester, Impreza, these are some of our cars. You may know them. And OEMs, so light vehicles. Especially if a young person looks at it, they may wonder, oh, Subaru produces OEMs. Actually, we started with that, Subaru 360. So we were originally OEM, a light vehicle company, but we stopped doing that. But dealers, we need to maintain those distributors. Therefore, we still do some of the OEM production for light vehicles, production from Daihatsu. But we decided to draw ourselves back from development of light vehicles. You may not understand what we do when we say we are aerospace. This is Boeing 787 or 777, and there is a middle wing. There is a connecting part of the central wing, mostly for Boeing and some of Airbus wings, and also helicopter for the defense purposes. So this is part of a defense industry. There are many interesting episodes about aircraft, but I skip talking about those because of the time. And then general purpose engine is like generators, and also engines, and also a high function engine for snowball mills, and then the pumps. But they will be discontinued in September this year. And now we are getting to the core part of the presentation. Can you go back one page? I want to talk about what is automotive industry. Here is important. So our common sense is the same as industry's common sense. For the last few years, I have been asking this question to myself. Our common sense is different from those that of the industry. And also, then we have to think about the position in the industry and the strategy of Subaru. Now, the automobile industry, you may not know how much units are sold. In 2005, 90 million units were sold. In 2004, 10 years ago, that was about 60 million units. And pretty soon, 2018 or 2019, amount of a car will be sold by 1 million units. So that's the forecast. If you're in Japan, actually, amount of cars is declining, but still in the world, this is a growing industry. That's the first point. This is a growing industry. And let's look at the breakdown. What are the regions which are selling a lot of cars? This is a pie chart, but I have a different presentation on the next page, which is a bar chart. This may be just a common sense for you. You may already know this information. Green, 2004, 2015, North America about the same, Europe about the same, also Japan. And then it's like this. China, you see that there's a great increase in Asia, and in other Latin America, they're also growing. You may have read the story in newspapers. Next page. If that's the case, what is the common sense in the industry? Cars are still growing industry, globally speaking. And then the area of growth is mostly happening in the emerging countries. And then also the compact car will be popular. So these are the points. If you go to the major automotive companies and they can increase the production in India or Indonesia, Thailand or Hungary, they can increase the production in those countries, and then they can increase the shares, and then competing among 10 million units, like GM 10 million and Volkswagen 10 million and things like that. And naturally, they are targeting emerging countries, and they want to trying to produce locally so that it's easier for local people to purchase them. Here is something important for me. As I said in the beginning, Subaru is growing right now. However, but still, we're only talking about 1 million unit share is only 1% of the global share. I'm not underestimating our company, but we're only talking about 1% of the global share. We have the Toyota, Volkswagen, GM, Renault, Hyundai. They have 10 million scale, and then after that you have a 50,000 unit level companies. But still, this is what I want to tell you. Subaru is one of the smallest in terms of share. So our management resource is limited as to the automotive industry. So the management resource may be small, and also therefore we can't compete in volume. Numbers. If the numbers are important, let's say we talk about the parts, Subaru purchased part 1 million, but other huge company may say, okay, we purchase 10 million units of those. So we can't really compete in the volumes. That's what I thought before I became a president. That was, yes, basically what I was thinking about before I became a president. So when we think about how to utilize our strength, our characteristics of personality, what is our features? What is our personality? That's the next point. Back then, I want to give you just one example. We had this types of discussion inside the company. Then they say, yes, Mr. Yoshinaga, we can't compete by numbers. Then what should be our strength? This is just one example. Number one in environment, Subaru is number one environmental conscious company. That's one strategy. And then I say I'm just telling you, this is just one example. Sorry, we can't say that because we are not capable of producing hybrid car by ourselves. Toyota invested so many amount of money for so many years, and then they finally developed this hybrid car. We are not capable financially and also the skill-wise. Of course, we know. We want to say that because the environment is quite important these days, but we can't really say that. And then the young people then say things like that. Then I say, well, we cannot really say we're an environmentally friendly company. Well, then if that's the case, however, Subaru, for the last 60 years, we are producing car brand called Subaru. It was not selling a lot compared to now. However, we didn't go bankrupt. That means something with Subaru, some points about Subaru attracted the customers. We have to think about what these are, and that will tell us the clue to find out who we are by related to the history.
Okay, this is nothing. So we'd like to explain you the mainly 3 points. Though the 3 are not interesting at all, but anyway, I don't even want to use something interesting for you. I'm just giving you the honest information. So selection and differentiation and additional value. So these 3 are the points recent Subaru has been working on. So when it comes to the selection and construction, selection and concentration, I personally do not really like to use those terms. They sound quite impressive, but because sounds cool. But when we apply these terms, we just like to explain what are we really doing by selecting and concentrating something. So we made 3 focus, 3 concentration. First, the concentration business, and then the concentration within automobile, and then concentration of technology. So these three are the concentration we have made so far. First, starting from the business concentration. And I've just explained about our history. So at the beginning, we were doing so many businesses. However, the competitors are quite big companies. So among the industry, Subaru was a quite small company. So if Subaru keeps focusing on so many different genres of businesses, Subaru cannot exist anymore. So this is what my understanding. So the last two of the presentation and garbage collector and wind power generation businesses, they were already transferred, handed over to other companies such as Hitachi and so on. I became the president in June. And at that time, we made a decision not to continue those two businesses, garbage collector business and wind power generation business anymore. And then we actually made an arrangement for Hitachi and other company to purchase these two businesses. And then also the third one, industrial product. We've been discussing about this business for a long time, but it also costs a lot. So we made an agreement to not to continue this business anymore, more as of September of this year. So the business is focusing on the automobile, but still we are not dismissing anyone. We keep all the employees here. So as I have explained before, we have automobile business and also aerospace business. But when we think about the future of Japan, we should have the aerospace business. And first, let me explain what kind of concentration we had for the automobile industry business. So when we focus on automobile, it's maybe we are the automobile company, so of course we have to focus on that. But when it comes to the business, speaking of business, I've actually talked so many different things, but the main message is the same. So if we compete for the cost, if we try to focus on the cost reduction, I don't say Subaru cannot do that, but I have to say Subaru is not good at it. And our designers and researchers have to do so many different types of automobiles. But anyway, Subaru itself was originally a small company, so if we keep all different types of cars for the production, we won't be able to keep our stance anymore. So we decided not to do the light vehicle anymore. So I was told quitting light automobile is a crazy idea. So are you crazy? But no, I am still secure and fine. And if we just compete in the light automobile industry, we have to think about the cost reduction. There should be a competition with the cost reduction. So, and the light automobile is mainly for the Japanese market. So that also creates some risk. So other than the regular light automobile, we have the light trucks. So they are showing a lot of deficit. So, and because they have great quality, so consumers don't purchase new ones anymore. That's one thing why we are facing that kind of deficit. However, but they can be sold 5,000 vehicles per month. So some factories are always purchasing 5,000 light trucks every month. So since we quit that business, we would lose that sales, of course. So I was actually pointed out about that case. However, we are introducing new cars. You may already know about the Subaru XV. It's showing the great sales, and also the Subaru BRZ. So because we know if we create something like Toyota, having like a Voxer and a sport car, however, Voxer itself cannot be sold so much. So Subaru cannot handle that by one cell. We have to get some collaboration with Toyota. And then Revogue, this is also quite popular. It's quite new as well. And other than that, we have an Impreza. We couldn't change the model once in 7 years so far, but now we are changing the models of Impreza every 4 years. So the changeover timing period is shortened as well. So when we say making concentration, you may say, oh, if you just concentrate on automobiles, of course you should do that because you are automobile company, but the important thing is that we quit the light automobiles. And then next one, and concentration of technology. We focus on first we focus on the light automobile, actually quitting light automobile, and then concentrate on the technology that wouldn't have much impact for individual customer. Because customer want to say, okay, you create a light automobile and you create a legacy, so I buy it. They never say that. So our methodology and our logic does not matter to customers. We say legacy is good, but by selling legacy, what we can contribute, what we can give to customers is the key. So we are introducing hybrid cars as well, introduced by Toyota's collaboration. That when we just think about the environmental safety, it doesn't really make any differences. But when we come back to our origin as an aerospace company, we now reached about the safety, including the safety and security. And we are actually have received highly recognized for that. So, and I thought that the strength of the company is something the engineers or something employers don't know, because the strength, it always exists in that company. And for the engineers and designers, security and safety is always important. So they don't even think about that is our characteristics or our strength or distinctiveness. But this is something I found as an answer. Here we have an eyesight. We introduced that in 2010, and it was quite successful in Japan. And the function is also function itself is quite high quality. And now there are so many other companies that are trying to apply this kind of function, so it's in a quite competitive market now. But increasing security and safety is a quite great thing. So from the legacy, debuted in October 2010, it was the first one we focused on eyesight. But after 2 months, I visited the engineering department in Gunma Prefecture, and I tried to drive this eyesight. And those engineers have had studies and researches for 20 years, but they never be able to sell that car itself. The car installed eyesight existed already. However, they just never been on the market. I still remember the name of the designer and engineer. They said they are just working in the edge, the corner, and a small area of the plant in a factory or office. So those engineers never be able to get a bright light during the time they are working for a company. So I asked them, so what would you like to do by producing the car? They said we would like to increase the safety, and it was quite impressive. I was so touched by that answer. So we are conducting quite a strict quality check, and when we say the top safety peak, there are so many vehicles such as for Mercedes-Benz or Subaru and so on. But we received great recognition from the United States for Subaru. And the main factor of the recognition is because we have all the models. All the models of Subaru are top safety peak. So the picture that I've just shared with you, those cars. So from the American side said, you actually have the top safety peak as your corporate policy. Then I noticed, and I thought to myself, this is something we should do. As I have just mentioned, our engineers, designers don't even know our cars are the only ones which are focusing on high safety. No, I'm originally from marketing and sales department, and not an engineer or designer. So, as for marketing, we have to think about how much we can expand this kind of influence, this kind of distinctiveness of the company. Should be the key for our success. Okay, we have just explained and the 3 concentration. So the next one is a differentiation. If we're just focusing on technology, unfortunately, we are unable to raise our brand image. Because if we just focus on technology, there should be some other companies who can compete and give higher technology as well. So I thought it was quite important to think about how we can differentiate from the other companies. So we have the Subaru America. It's not a distributor, it's a subsidiary in the United States. And they made great discussion and gave us a great idea. And luckily, accidentally, American side and Japan side actually read the same answer though. First answer is love. Subaru in the United States are doing the marketing promotion focusing on the word love. Let me explain what love means. Customers purchase cars, and when customers purchase cars, we wonder if those customers purchase cars for just as cars. And then I thought the world trend should go to this way. So there is a customer who owns a car, who purchased a car, and what we offer to them is the life with the car. So enjoying the outdoor activities, going to camp by driving the Subaru car, and the car secures, guarantee the safety. So if we can offer that kind of lifestyle by selling a car, our key and differentiation point for the other company should be love. Subaru is here because there is a love here. So we started the marketing promotion from that point of view. So, and also we decided not to have any advertisement related to cost reduction at all. Probably we don't have that kind of results as chart, but we are the companies which have quite low incentives. The other companies have the 3.5 million yen for one car, and ours is a 10 million yen. So we actually left from the cost competition. So by leaving the cost of competition and not to use incentives anymore, people think, okay, customers are actually purchasing your car in a quite high price. But no, but when it comes to for the repair and the things that can have a more guarantee as well. So we also explain that to our customers as well. And I keep saying differentiation. And I tell our employees, saying, don't take the differentiation in a wrong way. Are you doing differentiation from the point of our customers? Differentiation shouldn't happen from our side. Differentiation should come out from the customer's perspectives. So for example, we have this kind of ads on newspapers. Car is something bringing your life. And also it shows how much accident rate has been decreased. And we don't say anything, any sales promotion in these ads. Go to the next page, please. So far I have explained about the differentiation, and I've just checked my watch, and I have only 2 minutes and 30 seconds left. Okay, I still have 20 more pages to go. Yeah, but I should be punctual. Okay, added value. It might be a little bit ambiguous for you, but the activities we are doing in the United States growing more and more. And I think that's because America is a great country. We say share the love. We keep the keyword love as our corporate policy. So when customer purchases a car, we can apply part of the sales to the donation, and we can donate that to Subaru American can make a donation to the organization which customer prefers to donate. And then we also have another activity called Love Promise. So dealer is working in all different areas in the United States. So, and we are requesting them to do some local contribution activities. I have only 1 minute and 30 seconds left. So the next page is under enjoyment. So those should be the keyword is enjoyment, happiness. So the main theme should be the same as Japan. So let me tell you what has happened after we focused on that in the United States. So the dark colors are showing higher share. And a long time ago, we only had all blank and white colors in this map. But now we have so many customers in the United States as well. And please go to the next page, but we are really running out of time. So anyway, we have increased the sales in the United States as well, but skip the next page and skip the next page also. Okay, what are we trying to achieve? What are we aiming for? Should be the next one. The main points have been already covered so far. So as long as you hear those 3 major points, all what I explain here is what we are going to do from now. So maybe the strategy for differentiation, if we go in the even deeper, what can we get? We can be a distinctive company. So we put as focus for the Prominence 2020, when we made this. When we made this name, we still didn't know the Tokyo Olympic would happen in 2020. But this is something I made as a kind of company name. For the midterm vision, the title is also quite important to give the motivation to our our team. So I type into my PC every time when I come into some idea. So next page, we are trying to brush up Subaru brand even more. So I've explained the differentiation and added value and so on. But anyway, in short, we just need to make Subaru more attractive. That's all. So we are brushing up Subaru brand. Go to the next page, please. Probably you know about the Inter brand company. They have the Japan's best global brands. Information, and they have been released in last February, and I'm so happy to be in the position of number 10 from these Japan's best global brands. And before that, we were not even listed as the candidates. And we once talked we would like to be at least 30, rank 30, and then we worked on quite hard, and then reach this result. So, yes, we are still really would like to brush up our brand, Subaru brand. So, what can we? So, when I say I'm brushing up Subaru brand, we do everything we can do to brush up our brand. And I also tell our employees, once you start doing that, you can change that stance anymore. Okay, I have more presentation materials, but I won't cover that anymore. But anyway, in April, we changed our company name. And at that time, we put this ad in Japanese newspapers. So not only local newspapers, but also nation newspapers. So totally 30 newspaper companies, we requested to have this advertisement in their newspapers, because our corporate name change is the change of our policy itself. Fuji Heavy Industries, exactly like this. From the company, we were Fuji Heavy Industries to Subaru Corporation, and from the company creating things to the company creating smiles. So we used to have the copy saying from the company creating things to the company creating values. And then we had some discussion internally. So we keep saying delivering the value. That means we are still on the side of the manufacturers, not the side of the customers. So we haven't changed at all. Yes, exactly. But some of them said, if we can deliver those value to customers, how customer would think, how customer would be, probably customer smiles. So that's why we made this slogan. Thank you.